The artistic process always starts with the idea. Ideally, I popped out of bed this morning, I'm like, I got an idea. And I'm off to the races, and something cool's gonna happen. Sometimes I may be out and about and I'll see something. Be like, oh, that's really cool. Snap a photo, take pictures for later. Maybe if I have my sketchbook, I'll do a few sketches. So just being out and about, I may see something and be inspired. I may be talking with some of my artistic friends. Man, I got an idea. And I'm like, oh, you know how you can make that idea even better. And so after having a quick discussion with some of my friends, I can make this idea even cooler than I thought it could be. Unfortunately, more often than not, I live in no idea camp. It is tightly coupled with a low motivation and burnout from a very stressful and long work week. So how do I overcome this? Because I want to keep those artistic juices flowing, those ideas coming to the page. Well, I have 3 tried and true ways that work for me, could work for you, work for many artists. So let's talk about those. The first one is the drawing prompt. I love drawing prompts. Drawing prompts could be a single word. It could be a small phrase. It could be a little sentence that kind of describes a scene with some things. And I have jars, boxes. I have tons of these little pieces of paper around my art studio. So if I can't think of something, I'll grab one or a couple. Maybe uniquely they blend together, and now I have something that I can draw. I've also, and I know I'm an artist, I'm supposed to like hope this thing burns to the ground, but I use AI now as an assistant. It's not Chandler, I call it my art assistant. And my art assistant helps me generate some of these drawing prompts. I've trained it in my style. I've trained it in the thing I like to draw. I've trained it in the size of my drawings. And so now with a little bit of conversation, I can be like, hey, art buddy, can you give me some drawing prompts about ladybugs? And it'll design some drawing prompts that are customized for me of something I wanted to draw anyways. So using AI as an assistant to help with my drawing prompts, extremely helpful. Here's the thing about my AI assistant. It is even nerdier than me. And sometimes a drawing prompt will pop out and I'm like, clearly you thought this thing was cool, but I have no idea what you're talking about. And that actually leads into my second way of trying to generate ideas, and that's research and reference photos. Recently, it gave me one and it was talking about sea slugs. I'm like, oh, what the heck does a sea slug look like? And I didn't even know this thing was floating in the ocean. So off to Google I went, did a little research there. I'm like, oh my gosh, if you've never seen a sea slug, this thing is cool. It has awesome colors and it has all kinds of patterns. And then I started going down the rabbit hole of looking at hundreds of photos of sea slugs. So it started making me think, well, where do sea slugs live? And then I came up with scenes. And so lots of photos started to come together. And I use those reference photos to help generate drawings and scenes for me. As I mentioned in the beginning, I also take pictures of all kinds of stuff. So I have my own personal, large quantity of photos to put together. So reference photos are great to either put together to come up with a small scene, or if I really have total burnout, I'm just going to draw the picture. So my last way of coming up with ideas, I call this the playground. This is where the good, the bad, the ugly, the trash can drawings may show up. And it quite literally is playing and doing things, just being open. May start with pulling out an art material I haven't used in a while. Get in there, start drawing, see what it can do, maybe something I become inspired to use it in a future artwork. I've learned some cool new way to use this piece of art material. It could be quite literally scribbles on a page. Just put a bunch of scribbles on there. I can shade those. I can do all kinds. I can color them in. I could make it look like something else. So what does that look like? Recently, put a bunch of scribbles on a page and I looked at it. I'm like, huh, I think I see a little house, like a little hut here. And that's what I drew. I drew this little kind of dilapidated hut with a little wood roof, kind of had a beachy feel to it. And my husband comes walking by and he's like, oh, looks like a cupcake. But did it too? I'm like, it does look like a cupcake. And so then I was inspired to draw all these little cupcake themed homes. I even prompted my ChatGPT, my AI assistant over there, to say, hey, can you give me some drawing prompts that are a little bit more chameleon type themed? Other things I'll do is highly repetitive meditative type patterns. That's your Zentangle, your mandala. Many times those patterns will show up, but it also gives me that opportunity to learn line skills and inking skills. And I can do it while watching TV, no thought process needed. And when the burnout is complete, like I cannot think, I'll turn to something like Skillshare and I'll go on and I'll take a short class. I can be inspired by how other artists do things. I can learn maybe how to do some new medium. And you know what's the best about it? Someone's telling me what to do. I don't even need to think about it, and the artistic flow is still going. So those are my three main ways. Coming up with ideas and keeping the artistic flow going. Drawing prompts, reference photos, and just playing and seeing what happens. But a word of caution, my friends, what I have described to you is not easy. It is hours and hours and hours of sketching, practice, play, drawing to hopefully come up with the idea. And I look forward to coming back to share with you how I grow that idea into a finished piece of artwork.